have this vivid memory of sitting in the bathtub one time and just crying.
I think I punched my dad once.
You're not in charge of me right now. Like, you just won't leave me alone.
I had an epidural in my back, so I couldn't move very well.
She just wanted me to keep pushing and keep going.
Everybody had one. Like, if you didn't have one, you were looked down upon.
This is a show where teenagers share their experiences growing up in today's world. I'm your host, Dr. RJ, and this is A Teen's Perspective.
We talked about limiting beliefs, and we had a little fun. We actually tried to look at a few limiting beliefs and decide if we wanted to accept those beliefs or not. So that was pretty fun. If you were a part of that, we got an opportunity to choose to accept the belief or choose to deny the belief. So I want to do another one because I know we did like 5, I think, last time. And we actually had 100% on the last one. Like everyone agreed. They say, yes, I accept this belief because this belief empowers me. So we're talking about what will hinder us from making straight A's. Because 2 weeks ago, we all agreed that we wanted to make straight A's this year. We're shooting for the moon. We all want the best this year. Now, this whole series is talking about what are the things that are going to stop you from reaching straight A's. And believe it or not, it's not your teacher because you're online. You know, some people want to use that excuse. Oh, I'm not good at, school online. Well, how do you know? Most of you haven't tried it before. So we're in this series to help you see that you have full control to make straight A's, number one. And number two, the only reason why you won't make straight A's is because it's a mental game. It's something in the mind that's going to hold you back. And what we're doing is identifying 4 of those things that's going to hold you back. So that's what this is all about, is identifying the 4 things that's going to hold us back. And we already identified them. The first one we talked about last week is the limiting beliefs. We talked about basically a limiting belief is any belief you have that limits you. So when you think of your beliefs, they either limit you or empower you. So we all know that a belief is different than like a fact. For a perfect example, I am 6'5". That is a fact. I can prove it. There's no debate about it. That's not a belief. It's a fact. Now, a belief would be that I'm tall, right? So most of you may say, yeah, you're tall. But if I was in the NBA, I would not be considered tall. In fact, my brother is actually 6'8". So to my brother, I'm not that tall. So being tall is more of a belief, right? I believe I'm tall, but I'm sure, nice, Lance says he's 6'3". So, Lance is pretty tall. And Benjamin says he's 6'5". So this is a time, if you're tall, to give you a shout out. So essentially, a belief is that, yeah, my brother's 6'8". A belief is that tall is great. That's a belief. It's not a fact, because there's plenty of short people who are like, no, I like being short. I don't hit my head on things. So that's what we talked about. Oh man, Andrea, she says she's 5'1". So Andrea doesn't have to worry about hitting her head at all. Sophia says she's 5'4". Yep. Come on, everybody else, give me your heights. We might as well get it out there. Who's my dad? Shaq? Nope. Kyle says he's 5'1". Alexis is 5'7". Leah is 5'1.5". Kaylee is 5'2". That's my wife height. My wife is 5'2", believe it or not. Dominic is 5'7". Daniel is 5'7". Reed is 5'9". Chelsea 5'6". Dexter 5'3". So we have some good heights here. Now, when we're looking at these heights, the belief would be whether you like your height or not. Like if you be like, hey, I like being tall. There's advantages to being tall. That's a belief. It's not a fact. Oh, I like being short. I think it looks good on me. Well, that's a belief. It's not a fact. So a limiting belief is anything that limits you. Empowering belief is anything that empowers you. So you always want to choose beliefs that empower you. Last week, I'm going to share the one that everyone agreed with. Because what I did was I listed a bunch of different beliefs that people may have, or it really is more like deeper thinking kind of beliefs. And I gave you guys a choice to either accept the belief or deny the belief. And for most of them, everyone, some people accepted, some people denied it, but there's one that everyone accepted. I'm going to read it to you. Kelly, get bonus credit because that is it. All experiences are opportunities for growth. That means Kelly pays attention. Kelly is like amazing. She remembered this stuff. Kelly is going to be super, super successful because she's taking everything we're saying and she's applying it immediately because she remembered that. Oh, it was actually Maddie. So Maddie, shots out, give me high fives, Maddie. But that's the one we all agreed on. All experiences are opportunities for growth. Now, do you believe it or do you deny it? Does that belief empowers you or does it limit you? For me, it empowers me because every experience I've been through, whether it turned out the way I wanted it to turn out or not, it's an opportunity for me to learn something and grow from it, right? So I'm going to share another belief with you guys today, and I want you to tell me if you accept this belief. If you accept it, that means it empowers you. If you deny it, that means it limits you. And you just write accept or deny in the chat. Here we go. Each moment describes who you are and gives you the opportunity to decide if that's who you want to be. Man, that's deep. What do you think? Do you accept that or you deny it? I'm going to say it again. Each moment describes who you are and it gives you the opportunity to decide if that's who you want to be. What do you think? Accept or deny? Chelsea's denying it. Alexa's denying it. Who else? What do you guys think? Kaylee, what do you think? I agree with the second half. Daniel says he agrees with the second half. Who else? Leah, what do you think? I don't know. Okay. Reed, what do you think? Tell me. What do you think, Reed? Sophia, what do you think? What do you think about that belief? Kathy says she denies it. So I accept the belief. And the reason why is this, because we talked about how a lot of times we're on autopilot, right? So I think we talked about last week that we are only conscious 5% of the time. So what that means is that we're focused in the present 5% of the time. Most of the time we're in the future or we're in the past. Like right now, some of you guys are, as you're typing, you're thinking about, what you're going to eat when we hang up, right? Like you're in the past, your autopilot is taking over. The reason why that statement empowers me is because if I'm on autopilot and I am reacting the way I don't really want to react, I have the moment to decide if that's how I want to continue. I'm like, wait a minute, is this who I am? Oftentimes this may happen with my 3-year-old. 3-year-olds, they have temper tantrums and they do things that just it doesn't make sense to anybody, right? And sometimes I find myself getting frustrated with my 3-year-old because he's doing something he's not supposed to. And then I become conscious of it, right? Because remember, it's autopilot. So usually I'm like thinking about something in the future. He does something and I'm thinking it, and it makes me annoyed. And then I stop myself and say, wait a minute, is this who I want to be? Do I want to be that dad that gets annoyed at a 3-year-old being a 3-year-old, right? And I say, I don't want to be that person. So I can make a choice to be the person I want to be and joke around with him and be loving towards him. So that's why that statement empowers me. It doesn't have to empower you, but that's how I look at the statement and that's how it empowers me. So that's an example of a belief system. And if it limits you, you want to deny it. And I'm asking you and I'm challenging you guys to go to your own beliefs that you have about everything, about yourself, about how you see life. I hear people sometimes say, life is unfair. Well, that's a belief, right? There's no fact to that. Well, does that belief limit you or does it empower you? If it limits you, you want to get rid of it. And you want to say life is fair. So that's how the beliefs works. And this will actually hold you back from making straight A's if you have the belief that I'm not good at online school. Or because of COVID, everything is crazy, I can't do my best. Or it's because I'm socially isolated, I don't feel good enough to study and give it my all. Like these are all like limiting beliefs. COVID is not doing anything to you as far as it relates to your straight A's, your ability to make straight A's. It's a belief system in your head. You should limit it. You should deny it because it's limiting. So let's move to the next one. The next one is interpretations. So interpretations is another reason you will not make straight A's. Remember, it's not your teacher. It's not because of COVID that you're not making straight A's. It's not because you're not smart. You guys are smart. So just get over that belief. It's because of your limiting beliefs and interpretations. Who here knows what an interpretation is? Put it in the chat. Alexa says mocking. All right, who else? Interpretation. What is an interpretation? The way you see something. There we go, iPhone. I don't know who you are because it says iPhone. You're right on. So seeing a situation and assuming, yeah, okay, that's right. Assuming why it happened. So the easiest way to remember what an interpretation is all it is a guess. That's it. Interpretation is literally guessing. So case in point, a friend dips you Come on now, if you know what that word means. I learned it like 3 weeks ago. I feel like I'm cool now because I know what dip means. I never heard of it before, but one person told me that if you like text someone and they read it, or you snap somebody and they read it and they don't respond, then they dipped you. Is that accurate? Leaves you hanging? At least that's what they told me. So I've been using it. I'm saying dip. In any case, if someone dips you, leave you hanging, oh, Alexa said, yep, that's what it is. You're going to make a guess. Your guess is, oh, they don't like me. Oh, I'm not important enough. I'm like, not the top in the friend group, right? They don't want to be my friend. They're being mean. All these are guesses in your head because you don't know, clearly. You have no clue why someone would leave you hanging. None of you have a clue. So what you do is you make an interpretation. And believe it or not, it's actually a natural process. So let's see. Reed is my friend here, so I could just pick on Reed. So say, for instance, I came out here and I said, you know what? I dislike the name Reed. I don't like it at all. I think the only cool name for R should be RJ. If you have an R name, I don't like it. All right? So Reed is going to make an interpretation. He's not going to assume anything bad or anything because he knows I'm cool. But Reed is going to make an interpretation. If I was some stranger, he'd be like, man, that guy is mean. I don't like him. He's mean. Now, am I mean? We don't know. We don't know why he said it. I could have said it to joke. I could have said it because I had a bad day. I could have said it because someone just told me that RJ is horrible and Reed is the best name, right? Like, we don't know what's in the person's mind. So all we can do is guess. And, what I want to share with you guys is start guessing positively. All right. Start making positive guesses because your natural inclination to choose to believe the worst in everyone is not going to make you feel good. And why am I bringing up interpretations? How is interpretations going to limit you from making straight A's? What do you think? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's called distractions. So let me ask you guys this question. Is school hard? Be honest. Is school truly hard? Is making straight A's hard to do? Maddie and Kelly says no. Who else? Is school truly hard? Alexa says no. Sophia says yes. Chelsea says no. Kaylee, no. Kathy, no. Kyle, not really. Daniel, no. All right. So you guys know this is not hard. Now, what makes school hard? What makes school hard? Well, let me think. If you're in like 5 sports, then yeah, I could see how your time could be limited, right? If you're one of the kids who get distracted easily in class, I can see how it could be a little more difficult for you. If you are not well at taking tests, okay, I get it. If you lack the motivation. Alexa says if other students, your peers, bully you or they make you feel uncomfortable, it can be hard, right? So the point I'm sharing with you guys today is interpretations are guesses that you make about other people and about your situations. And that is what's going to hold you back from making straight A's. So we don't want to do that. That's what we're going to work on today. Okay, guys? We're going to work on how to choose to guess in a way that makes us feel good. Because we all know the secret to getting what we want. What is the secret? Who knows the secret? Kelly or Maddie is going to give me this answer for some reason. I'm thinking that. But I think Alexis is going to kind of come quicker and she may beat them. But then Daniel's been hanging out for a little bit. So Daniel may beat all you guys. Who knows what is the secret to getting everything you want? All right, Andrea. Yes, your mentality is it. So Andrea actually went to the next step. But Andrea's right, because the way you think about things, your thoughts impacts your what? And that's the answer. Impacts your what? Your thoughts create a what? That's it, Kelly. I knew Kelly's going to have it. Or Maddie, one of you two, is emotions. Yes, your emotions. So every single thought creates a feeling or emotion. Now, that is the secret to success. That's the secret to getting everything you want is how you feel. That's it. It's that simple. It's so simple. If you feel good, you're going to get what you want. There's no doubt. It's been proven fact. You could call it a belief, but it's a fact, to be honest. If you feel good, you're going to get what you want. Why is that? Because we know the triangle. Because if you feel good, then you're going to do what? Andrea said it earlier. You're going to take action. Because all getting what you want is about taking action. That's all it is. Think about it. Some of you guys are in middle school. Some of you guys in middle school are like, I don't really care about school because it won't impact me right now. But you should be looking at that as like, hey, this is a practice. I need to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Because I can guarantee you this. If you want to make straight A's, you're guaranteed to make straight A's. You know why? Because it's not rocket science. It really is not. Because think about this. I'm going to just give you the basic of making straight A's. You know you have to study. You know you have to pay attention. You know you have to ask questions when you don't understand. right? And you need to have a schedule. You need to have time. That's not difficult. It's really not. If something is hard for you, like you're not getting it, math is a good one. I'm not getting math is so hard. Oh man, math is hard. I don't get it. Well, guess what? If you want to make straight A's, what do? Ask questions, get a tutor. I mean, you got to do something. You got to take action. But guess what holds people back? They think, oh, I'm never good at math. I'm terrible at math. Math is too hard. And guess what happens when you think that way? Then you're going to start feel defeated. You're going to be like, oh, I got to go to math. I'm not going to do well anyway. And guess what action you're going to take? Nothing. Because you're already telling yourself, I'm not going to do well. So you won't go to extra mile. You won't actually carve out an extra 30 minutes in your day every single day to study math. You won't ask your mom and say, hey, mom, can you give me a tutor in math? I really want to make straight A's this year. I need a tutor in math. I know that's my weakness. You won't stay after class to ask your teacher questions. You won't even do the raise your hand. You know, some of you guys get a little embarrassed about raising your hand. If you don't understand something, teacher, can you explain it, right? How many of you are emailing your teachers to explain something? How many of you are asking students who seem like they're getting it? Hey, I know we don't know each other that much, but it seems like you're like amazing at math. Do you mind if we study together, right? Like all this is not rocket science. It's not. But it's all about your mind. If you believe you're not good at it, you won't take action. So that's why the secret and the key to success and getting everything you want is how you feel, even if it means you want friends. Some of you guys want friends, right? Well, are you going to make friends if you think like, well, actually, I'm actually coaching someone, and not on this call, but I'm coaching someone right now who wants friends. He can't make friends. And he says because none of the people his age are mature enough. All right, listen, that's a belief. Is that belief limiting him or is it empowering him? There's no fact to that, right? There's no fact to say that everyone who's 16 or 15 is not mature. That's completely a belief, right? But it's a limiting belief because it limits him. And what do you think that thought does? People my age are immature. I want friends, but I can't make friends because they're all immature. All right, that's my thought. How would that make me feel? It makes me feel like there's no hope to meet friends. It makes me feel sad. It makes me not want to meet someone when I go to school because I'm assuming that they're going to be immature, right? And what action is he going to take to get to more friends? Nothing. And that's exactly what's happening. When, not anymore because I'm coaching him, but before I was coaching him, he didn't take any action. He's like, oh, everyone is bad. Everyone makes fun of me. That's not true. It's a limited belief. So once you change the way you think and you change your belief, that's what you start feeling better. You feel inspired. You feel motivated. Hey, this is a new year. I'm going to make some new friends. I'm excited. And then when you go and meet people, you're excited. Who prefers to hang out with me? If I'm like excited, hey guys, it's so nice to meet you. You're awesome. So none of this is rocket science, but I am telling you, and this works for business, this works for school, this works for your relationships. Your feelings are the key. If you feel good, you're going to take action. That's all it is. All right, back to interpretations. Before we do that, remember last week, change positions. We got to stay focused. So let's change positions. So I'm going to stand up. You guys can stand up, sit down. All right, I stood up. I changed positions, which means my mind is back focused. Let's talk about interpretations. So interpretations, as we talked about it, are guesses that you're making. I'm going to give you an example. And the reason why interpretations will stand in the way of you making straight A's is because they create distractions. When I asked you guys about school, if school is difficult, some people said, well, it could be difficult because of other students. Well, my guess is your interpretations or your guesses are not empowering you. Your guesses are limiting you. So it's the same thing, almost like limiting beliefs. You can make a limiting guess, you can make an empowering guess. So let's say this, for instance, you asked your neighbor a question. They straight up ignore you. Has that happened to you guys before? Where you saw somebody you know, or you're a little associate maybe, and you ask them a question and they straight up ignore you? Maddie and Kelly says it's happened to them before. Who else has it happened? Yep, Alexis said, yep, happened to me too. Guess what? Happened to me. I've been ignored before, right? Dominic says, yep, I've been ignored. Kyle says he's been ignored before. All right, so someone ignores you. What is the natural process when someone ignores you? You feel bad. Some of you get angry. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Who you ignoring? Right? You're either going to feel bad or you're going to get mad. But that's what happens with our interpretations. Whenever someone ignores us, instead of us thinking like, oh, maybe they didn't hear me. Or, oh, maybe they're in the past or in the future. Remember, most of us are always there. Chelsea said you could question what you did wrong, right? That could be something you could do. I'm a big fan of asking questions. But instead of thinking like, oh, they didn't hear me, you're automatically thinking like, oh, they don't like me. Or, oh, they're rude. Now, whenever you're in school and you feel like somebody, is being rude to you, you feel bad. Now, say you're feeling bad, you go into school. Are you going to be able to pay attention when you're feeling bad? Because remember that the key to success is feeling good. So when you're in class listening, guess what you're thinking about the whole time? That person who was rude to you. The teacher is giving you like some gold. I mean, the teacher's like, oh, this is going to be on the test. Write it down. And you're like looking at her, but are you present? Are you conscious? Nope, you're not conscious. And Alexa says she can relate to this. Alexa says, I've been there. You're not conscious. You're either thinking about in the past about, oh man, they're so mean. I can't believe they did that to me. And then you're automatically going to think about the future. Oh, I have no friends. Tomorrow I was supposed to go hang out with some friends, but I don't know if I want to go anymore. Right? And the teacher's like giving you the answers to the test. You're not there. So your interpretations have to change. Your guesses have to change. Perfect example, your mom or your dad. Say, for instance, I think this happened recently to one of the people I was coaching. You got in trouble for something you didn't do. How many of you have that happen to you before? You got in trouble for something you did not do at all. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe your mom or dad thought you did. Oh, Alexis, she's all over this. She said me. Kyle says me. Daniel says yes, right? Maddie, yes. Cassidy says yes. Dexter says yes. I happen to me too, you know? So you get in trouble for something you didn't do. Well, how does that make you feel? Reed says yes. It doesn't make you feel good. You know why it doesn't make you feel good? It wasn't because you got in trouble. It's because how you interpreted it to make you feel good. You're like, wait a minute, this is not fair. My parents are so unreasonable. That's one interpretation you may have. My parents are mean. That's another interpretation you may have. My parents do not like me as much as they like their sibling. That's another interpretation you just made. So you come up with all these interpretations. But guess what? Interpretations are nothing more than guesses, right? You're guessing. You don't know. You're not even in their head. You're assuming that your parents like your brother or your sister better. But how do you know? Even if you ask them, you still don't know. I mean, I don't know too many parents who be like, yep, you're not the favorite, right? But if you open their mind, I'm sure you can see everything that's happening. Like, yeah, they do love you the same. So my point I'm trying to say is change your interpretation. Now, is it that simple, just a change of interpretation? Is it simple if you got in trouble for something you didn't do, or you're in class and the person next to you, oh, this used to happen to me all the time. Person next to me was talking and then I get called out, right? And then guess what? I get mad. I'm like, wait, why are you calling me out? Like, what do you know, this person's right here. That's a terrible interpretation because I'm thinking like, oh, she doesn't like me or she wanted me to fail her class. That's my interpretation. I get mad. It makes me feel bad. Now, would that interpretation help me for the rest of the class? Nope. Would that interpretation help me for the next class? No. But if I thought to myself, oh, maybe because I typically talk a lot, she thought it was me. That's okay. Or maybe she was trying to teach the class and I was the first person that made eye contact with her. Maybe that's the reason, right? If that's the case, then guess what? If I start to believe that and say, oh, that's what she's doing, then it doesn't make me as mad. So what I'm asking you guys is not natural. It's not. If somebody's mean to you, it's natural to think that they're like a rude person, they're a jerk. If your friends go hang out at the beach and they didn't invite you, it's very natural for you to think like they don't want to be your friends and that something is wrong with you. That's very natural. If your parents, yell at you or they make you feel bad, it's very natural to think that your parents just don't understand and they're mean, whatever. But I'm here to tell you is those beliefs or those guesses do not help you at all. So what I'm asking you to do is to do the unnatural thing. I'm asking you to do is the unpredictable thing, is to create a different guess. That's all I'm asking you to do. Have a different guess. Because it's very predictable. If I, like the example I used earlier, I don't like Reed's name. It's predictable that Reed would be like, oh man, he's mean. I'm getting off of this right now. I'm never listening to RJ again, right? That's the natural reaction. And for Reed to interpret that I'm like the bad guy and I'm mean, then that's a natural interpretation, right? But guess what? To be successful, we know that we have to feel good. And to feel good majority of the time, you have to do some unnatural things. Or you have to have some unnatural guesses. That is my whole point to you is don't choose the guess that's going to make you feel bad. Put it this way. That's easier said than done. Why do you think it's easier said than done? Why? It's one word for it too. It starts with an E. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to get it, but if somebody gets it, I'll guarantee you guys are getting like a triple high five from me. But there's a reason why this is not easy to do. Ooh, that's close, Maddie. Expectation, good job. But I'm looking for something else. Someone give me a real life example of the last time you were extremely upset. I need a real life example. I don't want to talk about hypotheticals anymore. I want the real deal. The last time you were upset, tell me what happened. Daniel, my mom said my curfew was at 11:30 when we already agreed to 12:30. Oh my, Daniel, give me a high five because that's a great example. Come on, give me a high five. That's a great example. Oh, and then he just said it. She changed it when he was already out with his friends. Oh man. Oh yes, I understand, Daniel. I get it, my friend. It makes sense why you would be upset about that. That's the natural way to react, is to be mad. Wait a minute, Mom. Let's stop the record. You told me 12:30 and you just changed it 11:30 while I'm already out and I'm making plans. A natural reaction for Daniel is what? To be mad and say, my mom just doesn't get it. She doesn't like me. I don't like my mom. She's so unfair. My mom, I'm not talking to her anymore, right? That is the natural reaction. Any of you guys would have that reaction because you feel like that's unfair. The natural reaction is to be mad. The natural reaction is to not talk to your mom. Or what some of you guys do is purposely do something that makes your parents mad. How many of you do that? You know, you guys know you do that. Purposely do something. You like try to sabotage everything. Oh, I'm mad at my mom. I'm about to get Fs. You know, a lot of you guys do that. I don't get it, but you do it. You know, you sabotage your own success to get your parents back. That is a natural reaction. It's predictable. It's natural. I understand it. But will that reaction get you to success? You being mad? No, it doesn't, right? Because if you are texting your mom, you're out hanging out with your friends, you're having a good time, and then you're like, hey guys, guess what? We're having so much fun. We get another hour to have fun. And then you just look at your phone, up, maybe I got to go home right now, right? It stops. So you're mad, you're steaming. Some of you may be brave enough. I wouldn't do this because my parents are pretty scary, but some of you would be brave enough and be like, I'm staying out anyway. You told me 12:30. Now you guys are brave if you're doing that. You know, or some of you might be like, hey, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to act like I didn't see it. You know, even though it may say red on her phone, right? You dipped her, you dipped. So that could be a natural reaction. But guess what? Will it help you get what you want? I want you guys to answer. It won't help you. You're right. It won't. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to get grounded. They're going to take away your phone. You're going to get yelled at. Back in my day, you get spankings. We used to get a belt. Back in the day, you can't do that anymore. But back in the day, we used to get whoopings. Alexa said the rod. So that's what's going to happen. But guess what? You're not getting what you want because you want to hang out with your friends. Obviously, you're going to hang out with your friends again, and this is going to come up again. But what's a better way to handle this? What's a better interpretation to have? I'll tell you. Okay, we agreed to 12:30. Maybe my mom forgot. All right? My mom probably forgot. Now, if you interpreted that text message as your mom forgetting, would you be super, super mad at her? No. You'd be like, oh, she forgot. Let me just text her and let her know we talked about 12:30. Daniel, tell us what happened. How did you handle it, my friend? I want to know. Put it in the chat. Tell me what you did. Is that making sense to you guys? All right. Daniel said this happens very often. So we're going to go in a step further because Daniel said this happens all the time. So for her to forget, it's still possible. Even if it happens all the time, it's possible she could forget. Well, I'm curious, Daniel, what do you think is the reason that this happens? I'm curious. I want to see what you have to say about this. What do you think is the reason your mom, why this happens all of the time? Oh, snap. Did you guys just see Daniel's response? Come on now. I want you guys to read the chat right now and look at Daniel's response. Come on. It has success written all over it. Oh, man, Daniel. Daniel, you got to give me some high fives here, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Good job. Everybody giving shout outs to Daniel. Leah says yes. Maddie says good job, Daniel. But who else? Come on, y'all. Daniel.
I came in, gave her a kiss because, like I said, I figured she had forgot. Because when I texted her, I put a question mark. I thought my curfew was 12:30. So I had figured it was 12:30. When I came in, gave her a kiss, went to bed. In the morning, she called me down, which I figured she would. And she said that my curfew was 11:30, but if my dad agreed, it would be 12. So I just took it for what it was because I figured she was going to say something like that. So it is what it is. It's 12 now. So I'm not really stressing it.
That's how you handle it. That's what I'm talking about. See, Daniel makes me so proud because this is what I'm asking from every last one of you. This is what I'm asking because you know what's going to happen? Daniel has success written all over his future if he can maintain that. Because think about it. Why do we not get what we want? It's because we get mad and then we want to do things that we regret and we make bad decisions and all that kind of stuff. But if you could just maintain this high emotional state and be like, you know what? Maybe she forgot. He kissed her on the forehead. Nice move, Daniel. Nice move. He knows how to get people in a better mood. You give your mom a hug and a kiss. Every parent loves that. See, Daniel knows how this goes. So he gave her a kiss and she called him down and said, wait a minute. I thought it was 11:30, but if your dad says 12, it's 12. All right. So guess what would have happened if Daniel would have ignored her and stayed after 12:30? Or say Daniel would have came in the house instead of a kiss, says, Mom, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you changing stuff. Now imagine if you would have did that. Do you think he would be staying out to 12? No way possible. Oh no. That phone would have been snatched. He would have been locked down. Alexa said, I wouldn't even be here today. Right. He would be on lockdown. There'll be no more seeing friends for the foreseeable future. I'm telling you guys. Because you know what? Daniel had his eyes on the prize. Daniel says, I know what I want. And I know in order to get what I want, I need to be in a high emotional state. And the way you be in a high emotional state is if you make positive guesses. Now, you could guess and say your mom is being mean. Maybe she's trying to be mean. Who knows? But it doesn't matter because you're not in her head. You can't tell. So you just guess. Oh, maybe she forgot. No big deal. He was nice to her. Now, the way Daniel handled that, Daniel could actually go a step further to make sure that doesn't happen in the future. What could Daniel do in the future? Because he said it happens all the time. So what can he do in the future to make sure that doesn't happen again? So Daniel, he did what I call he rationalized. I'm going to share all this with you guys, but Kaylee knows this. I coach Kaylee. So what level of thinking was that for Daniel? Where he was like, you know what? It's fine. It happens all the time, but it's okay. What level of thinking is that? Let me see if Kaylee remembers. And if Kaylee remembers it, oh, you're close, Kaylee. You're close. You're very close. Level 3. So it's a level 3 thinking. So Daniel, if you wanted to take it a higher level, and I'm going to ask you, Kaylee, what could Daniel do to take it to a higher level? I mean, he did the right thing, right? Like he did the right thing. He had the positive interpretation. He guessed positively. Everything worked out well, and he accepted it. Accept it. It's a beautiful thing to accept things. But if you want change, there's a higher level you can go. Kaylee, what can he do? Think like a level 5 or even a level 4. Either one is still a higher level to get Daniel more of what he wants. What can he do? I'm going to see if she knows this. This is hard stuff now, so I don't want to put the pressure on Kaylee. But we all going to learn all this stuff. I promise you. I promise you. I'm going to teach it all. What do you think, Kaylee? Maybe confirm before you go. Okay, so I was thinking something along those lines. Yes, Kaylee. So Daniel, if you wanted to go another level so that you don't have to accept it anymore, what you could do is what Kaylee said, confirm before you go. Or if it's happening a bunch of times, just get in the habit of getting some evidence, writing it down, you know? Like whenever you guys are talking, say, hey, Mom, let's talk about my curfew. What do you think is a great curfew? And you guys come up with 12 o'clock. Okay, just so that I can remember. You never want to put it on your mom. Don't be like, hey, you always forget, so let's write it down. But like, hey, Mom, I want to make sure I remember, right? You put it on yourself. You're doing the unnatural thing. That's how you get success, remember? It's natural to be like, well, Mom, you're the one forgetting, so let's write it down so you will remember. That's natural. That's very predictable. But I'm asking you to do the unnatural. I'm asking you to go over and beyond and say, you know what? It's me, Mom. I need to remember. So let's write it down. All right, 12 o'clock. You can get her to sign it if you want to. And that way, if it comes back, you can be like, hey, Mom, I'm totally trying to follow the rules here. But our last conversation, and I got this paper to kind of prove it. I have this paper right here. It says 12 o'clock. This is what I have. But I mean, if you want to change it, let's talk about it. But, it says 12. So that could prevent that from happening in the future. Because honestly, deep down, she could really forget, to be honest. I mean, your mom has like 1,000 things to do. It's very common that she can't forget. Does that make sense, Daniel? Great job, Daniel, on that example. Great job on your response. I mean, you're like high level. I'm telling you, if everybody can get on this level where you just are not allowing things, just don't quit being natural, right? We all know, okay, somebody does something to you, you make you feel bad. So then you stay feeling bad. Why? Why is that necessary? Why can't you do the unnatural thing? Because you can do the unnatural. Ooh, that reminded me. We were going somewhere with this before Daniel's amazing story. I told you the reason why it's hard to do this is because of the E word. It's one word, E. And I don't think you guys are going to get it, so I'm going to just tell you. The reason why that you can't let stuff go and give it a positive interpretation so you can feel better to get more of what you want is ego. It's your ego. That's why you can't let it go. You can't let it go. It's your ego. Think about it when you're arguing with someone. Is it okay to be like, instead of arguing, to be like, hey, you know what? You're absolutely right about that. How many of you have ever said that? Probably not much. Because guess what? Your ego is the reason why you want to do the natural things. If somebody says something to you, you want to be mad and you respond. If your parents tell you something that you don't like, you get sad. Those are all natural things. So the reason why we do these things is because of the ego. Now, am I asking you guys to be completely emotionless? No, it's impossible. It's impossible. It really is impossible. I'm not asking you to do that at all. What I'm asking you to do is to maintain a higher level of emotion, which means happiness, excitement, gratitude, love, peace, inspiration, motivation. All these feelings are high levels, and this is how you get what you want. Now, you will not be at this level forever. But what I'm asking you is this. When it dips, because it will, because natural things happen, it's natural to feel bad if somebody makes fun of you, right? It's natural. Truly, it is. Somebody makes fun of my shirt. Oh, RJ, he's old stupid shirt. I'm going to feel bad. But guess what? My mind is conditioned to a higher level. It doesn't bother me long. Guess what? I do just like this. I'm happy, happy, happy. And that hurt my feelings a little bit, but it's okay. All right, I'm happy, happy, happy. Oh, man, that was not fun. That's just how it happens. I'm constantly trying to get back up because I know this. Does it do me any good to dwell on the fact that someone doesn't like my shirt? No. Does it do me any good to be offended by what somebody said to me? No, it doesn't do any good. So I do the unnatural thing. It's natural to be mad or natural to want to say something mean back, but I do the unnatural thing. I do a positive guess. I say, guess what? They're just probably having a bad day. Okay, it's cool. Or maybe they were not trying to be mean to me. Maybe I just took it the wrong way, right? Because that makes me feel better. But if I feel like, oh man, they're out to get me, that makes me feel bad. And if I'm feeling bad, I'm not going to be making straight A's. I'm not going to be focused on the teacher. All right, is all this making sense, guys? All right, so this is the perfect time for questions. I want you guys to ask me questions to truly get this. Chelsea said it makes sense. Leah said that's mindset thinking. You're absolutely right. My challenge to you guys is to have positive guesses so that you can feel better. It's not natural. I know it's not natural. I know it's not natural. In fact, I was coaching someone recently and the friends told her that she made a comment and the friend was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like her friend said that in front of a group of people. So it's natural to feel bad. That's natural. Because think about it. You're in front of your peers. We all want to be accepted by our peers. And for somebody to say something like that about us, it makes us feel bad. So at that point, you have a choice. Because who remembers what is the job of your feelings? Your emotions are designed for one thing, ultimately to keep you safe. Yes, Chelsea, but they really are there to give you a what? A what? A message. Thank you, Maddie Kelly. I appreciate it. Man, you guys are on a roll. Your emotions are designed to give you a message. That's it. So in that case, somebody says, I'm talking. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Man, it hurts. That makes me feel bad, right? So the message was, I don't like how that felt, right? That makes me feel bad. I don't like how that felt. So you get a choice at that point because you feel bad naturally. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel bad. That's a natural thing. It happens so fast, you can't even stop it anyway, to be honest. But you can catch it because you know why you can't stop it? You're in the future or you're in the past. So you're not conscious. But guess what pain does? It brings you conscious real quick. It's like, hey guys, I'm talking. I'm in the future and I'm talking. I'm not paying attention. Oh, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, that was a dagger. That hurts. So now I have a choice. Now I'm back conscious. I can choose to interpret it and be natural in my interpretation. My natural interpretation would be like, she's mean. She's rude. Or she doesn't like me. I don't know what I did to her. Like, what did I do to her? I never say anything bad about her. Why did she do that to me? Why would she make me feel bad in front of all these people? That's the natural reaction. That's a natural interpretation that she's rude. She doesn't like you. But what is the unnatural interpretation? Maybe she's having a bad day. Or maybe she just said it without thinking. She wasn't trying to hurt my feelings. Maybe she was saying it under her breath and she just came out loud. She was not trying to hurt my feelings. Or maybe she truly felt that, right? That's okay. My job is not to say the smartest thing 100% of the time. It's not my job. Sometimes I may say something somebody else may not like. That's okay. I can interpret it any way I want. My guess in this situation, if that happened to me, my guess is, oh man, she's having a bad day. So she's having a bad day, so I'm not going to let it bother me. And guess what that's going to do for me? She had a bad day. I'm not going to take it personal. And I'm going to slowly bring my levels of emotion back up. For you guys who's out there thinking like, well, RJ, that's not normal. That's not natural. Like, I mean, if somebody said to me, I'll be hurt for the rest of the day. Yes, you would be hurt for the rest of the day, number one. Number two, it's okay if you want to be hurt for the rest of the day. I'm not here to tell you that you can't do that. I'm telling you, if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Because you know why it's fine? Because that's actually natural. That's a natural feeling. That's a natural interpretation. But what I'm challenging you to think is this. You're not in her mind. You can't open her mind. We don't even know if the mind is in the head. We say it is there. It could be in your toe. Who knows? But you can't get inside the mind and look and be like, oh, yep, right there. She was trying to hurt my feelings. I got proof, guys. It's right there. You can't do it. So all you could do is guess. And I choose to make a guess that makes me feel better. Because I know as long as I'm feeling better, that next class, I'm going to pay attention. As long as I'm feeling better, when my friends make a joke with me, I'm going to be laughing hard, right? I'm going to really enjoy that moment. Because when you're in a higher level of emotion, you enjoy things more. It's just that simple. Now, if you want to and be hurt the rest of the day, be my guest. But I guarantee you, you don't have to be that way. All right, Chelsea, what do you have for me? Even though you could think to not take it personally, how do I actually brush it off and believe that the person was having a bad day? Great question, Chelsea. I'm glad you asked me that question. All right, so how do you do this? Well, number one is a belief system. All right, we talked about this last time. You need to change your beliefs now. It's hard to change your belief system when you're feeling bad. You need to do it now while we're on the phone. Change your belief system. We've already said it. Let me see if it's a good example. If we have one that would speak to this, okay, we did have a belief system that spoke to this. Every person we meet is our teacher and our student. Every person we meet is a teacher and a student. So that belief basically says everyone we meet, we can learn something from. All right. Or what about the one we just talked about earlier? Every situation is an opportunity for growth. You can have that belief. My point I'm trying to say is change your beliefs, number one. Because you're right, Chelsea. In the moment, it's hard to be like, oh, that just didn't happen, right? It's hard to do that. And I'm not saying that you should do that. So the first method of attack is change your belief about people. Change it. My belief about people is this, and this is why it's easier for me to do this. People are good deep down. That's my belief. I believe people deep down are good, and they are loving and they're caring. But I also believe people experience pain on a daily basis. And some people handle their pain by hurting others. Other people handle their pain by hurting themselves. And some people handle their pain by hurting themselves and others. So that is my belief. So when someone is rude to me or mean to me out of the blue, I believe that. I'm like, man, they're going through something right now. So I don't take it personally. So that's one thing that can help you. The second thing is to get conscious. Because remember, when you're in the subconscious, that's autopilot. That means you're going to react like the natural way to react. So if you're subconscious and you're doing your thing, you're in the future and the past, someone says something mean to you, naturally you're going to feel bad and you're going to stick with it. Okay, yeah, Chelsea, yeah, I'm not even finished. And you say, I already got it. I like it. But I got a couple more to give you. So it's natural when you're not in the conscious. So what you want to do is try to get conscious as quick as possible. And all consciousness is you being in the present and you making decisions, not your feelings. All right. So that's basically means saying like this. Right now, I could be stressed out, but I choose to be focused with you guys and having a good time. That's a conscious thought. If I was thinking about the future, I'll be stressed. Now, I'm using this example. I'm not stressed at all, but I'm just saying if I was. So the way to get conscious is this. I'm going to teach you a quick technique to get conscious, no matter what you're doing. All right, you guys ready? Change positions. The key is to go conscious mode. The way you get conscious, Chelsea, and I'm talking to you. So if you're feeling bad, how do you then transition to changing your interpretation? Well, you got to first get conscious. So right now you're in your feelings. Remember Drake, you're in your feelings. And Drake was actually spot on with that whole in your feelings, because that actually happens. I mean, you're literally in your feelings. Notice he didn't say in your emotions, because we know the difference between a feeling and an emotion. He said in your feelings, because that's what happens. We get in our feelings and like, oh man, I'm hurt. The first thing is do is get conscious. Bam, I'm conscious now. When you're conscious, you could choose anything. And that's what I'm telling you from last time with these limiting beliefs. You could choose like, hey, I'm the coolest person on earth. I'm the nicest person on earth. I'm awesome. Pump yourself up. But anyway, this is what you do. You're feeling bad. And okay, I'm conscious. This is how you get conscious. You do this breathing exercise. I'm going to teach it to you. Who want to know this breathing exercise? Give me 2 thumbs up because this is going to help you go conscious mode. All right, Daniel, thumbs up. Chelsea, thumbs up. Leah, thumbs up. One more thumbs up and I get started. Who else? Maddie, Kelly, double thumbs up. I'm giving it to you. All right, here we go. This is how you transition from subconscious to conscious. It's the breathing, guys. It's the breathing. You got to use your breathing. Take 6 breaths. Breathe 6 times in. Inhale. So hold it for 2 seconds. Let it go for 6 seconds. Do it 3 times. You're going to be conscious. It's a reset of the mind. When you do that, your mind is like reset and you have this moment to just choose to think about anything you want. And at that point, I would change my interpretation. I would say, you know what? She was having a bad day. I truly believe she's a good person. She was having a bad day. She was not trying to hurt my feelings. I hope she's feeling okay. I'm going to be fine. I have a life coach, so I know I'm going to be good, right? And just keep going. That's how you do it. That's it. It's that simple. And guess where I got that from? Guess where I got that breathing exercise from? I got it from the Navy SEALs, man. The baddest guys on the planet. I got it from the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs, they have this thing that they do. It's called Hell Week. It's the hardest training ever in the world. I mean, you have to do all these things. They get 4 hours of sleep and they got to be cold and, in the water and they're constantly cold. Their body's drained. They got to run and do all this stuff, right? So what happened was with Hell Week is like 75% of the people dropped out. They couldn't even make it. I'm telling you, it's crazy. 75% was like, I'm done. I'm quit. They made it through all the other part, but they get to Hell Week and they quit. So they hired these top psychologists to study the people who did make it. It's like, why did they make it? And there's a bunch of stuff that they did. It was like 5 different things. But what they did is they did that breathing technique. The breathing technique helps you get out of the pain or the little state and helps you refocus. And once you refocus, what they did was they became their own cheerleader. So right now, it's like they're trying to hold on to this rope. They're like, I can't hold on anymore. I can't do it. I can't. And then they start doing that breathing exercise. Hold for 2, release. They do it 3 times. And they're like, okay, my mind just reset. I got this. Oh, it's going to feel so good when I get to the end. Oh, I got this. I'm strong. I'm stronger than you think. I'm strong. I'm telling you, this is what they do. And it works. I'm trying to tell you guys, this mental game is serious. No one talks about it, but it's so serious. 80% is mental. If you can conquer the mind, you're going to crush it in life. You're going to get everything you want. You're going to have the works. You're going to be rich. You're going to have the wife. You're going to have a family. You're going to have a Tesla like me because it's so cool. I love my Tesla. You can have it all. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. But it's the mind game. You got to do it. I hope you enjoy listening to the group coaching session. And I also hope that you are able to learn something that would help strengthen the relationship between you and your teenager. Until next time, this is a teen's perspective, helping parents see the future.